Yo, what is up, guys? XRP's at $1.11 right now on CoinMarketCap. Our first tweet comes from CoinDesk. New Vanguard Group posts its first ever head of digital assets role, marking a full strategic pivot from the $11 trillion asset manager that spent years refusing to touch crypto. Our next tweet comes from XFinance Bull. What the Genius Act did for stablecoins, the Clarity Act could do for XRP, XLM, HBAR, and other digital assets. Look at the receipt. The Genius Act became law in July 2025 and gave stablecoins clear rules. The result? The market grew from around $205 billion to over $311 billion, and daily volumes reportedly jumped from $1 trillion to $4 trillion. Clarity didn't just help, it unlocked explosive growth. Now, Clarity aims to do the same for utility tokens, classifying XRP, XLM, and HBAR as digital commodities under the CFTC, not securities under the SEC. Permanent statutory certainty. An advisor said trillions in institutional capital sit on the sidelines waiting for exactly this. History already showed what Clarity unleashes. This time, it points at the assets you hold. Let's watch this video.
Where the Clarity Act is taking us, it's creating the type of certainty that's necessary to bring the entire digital asset framework into full-blown opportunity here in America. If you look back at the Genius Act that I authored, that brought America into the digital payments arena. We now are in a position where America will continue to lead as the reserve currency of the world because we now have a reserve digital dollar that's backed dollar for dollar by short-term U.S. Treasury securities. As we move more broadly into the arena, digital assets have a much more varied use. We've dealt with it, I think, to a large extent, and I'm with Kevin Kramer. We need to get this done. It's important to get it done. It's critical to maintain America's innovation edge. From a process standpoint, I think he's likely right. This is something that will be more a matter of focus after the 4th of July recess period, but I certainly hope to see it done before the end of July.
All right, smash that subscribe button and hit that like button if you believe XRP will reach $3 again this year. Our next week comes from Watcher Guru. Just in, White House says the US government is working to structure its strategic Bitcoin reserve and crypto stockpile. Our next week comes from Big4 Coins. BlackRock warns the Clarity Act can't wait. $14 trillion asset manager BlackRock says Asian countries could move ahead of the US in crypto by passing their own versions of the Clarity Act first. Let's watch this video.
Outlook is, I think the likelihood of that happening is now sub 50%. I'm still optimistic that if it doesn't happen by the August recess, it'll happen this year. I do think the regulators now, with the CFTC and the SEC, can probably rule write most of what we need. The problem with rule writing is it's much more reversible than what you see when it joins statute. I've been spending a lot of time in Asia. I've been in Korea and Hong Kong 4 times in the last 9 months. They've, on the one hand, been waiting for the Clarity Act. I actually think if it's not passed, you're going to see Asian local governments pass equivalents to try to catch up and even get ahead of the US. So I'm long-term very optimistic. I just think we need, no pun intended, a lot more clarity, not just about US regulation, about global rates, and about the geopolitics. And let's not underestimate, you go to South Korea and all you hear about is Samsung and Hynix. We need this AI super cycle to...
Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Always remember that XRP was the first asset personally named by Trump for the Crypto Strategic Reserve, XRP first. Our next tweet comes from 25 Hours Awake. Breaking, Trump's crypto czar, David Sachs, says a new payment system is set to launch in the United States. XRP and RLUSD. Let's watch this video.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you, President Trump. It's a great honor to be here, and it's true that I'd never expected to work in government at all, and then everything changed after President Trump came on my podcast, and I accepted this job as crypto czar because I thought it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work for a president who really wants to get things done for the American people, and if anything, that's been an understatement. The first 6 months of this administration have been more successful than any administration in American history. What's been done? It's just been incredible. President Trump has worked at tech speed. We're used to working fast in Silicon Valley, but even this is fast for us in Silicon Valley, the speed at which you move, President Trump. It's really incredible. And now today, you have another historic legislative achievement that is a monumental step to fulfilling your promise to making the United States the crypto capital of the world. This Genius Act will unlock American dominance in the crypto industry by creating clear rules of the road. It will update archaic payment rails with a revolutionary new payment system, and it will extend U.S. dollar dominance, like you said, globally, by creating a digital dollar that people all over the world can use. And for every digital dollar in a crypto wallet, there'll be a traditional dollar in a U.S. bank account, which will create trillions of dollars of demand for U.S. Treasuries. So that is the power of this bill, is U.S. dollar dominance.
Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Breaking: the SEC just released its regulatory agenda for 2026. We will ensure that the next chapter of financial leadership is written in the US. Our next tweet comes from Digital Asset Buy. BlackRock can't talk about XRP. R3 can't talk about XRP. Elon Musk can't talk about XRP. They can all talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum. I predict one day they're all talking about XRP. Lock in. Let's watch this video.
How about an XRP ETF? I know you got Ether out there. How about XRP? Can you answer that?
I can't. And you don't want me to.
I do.
Well, I can't.
All right. They're giving me the rap. Thank you.
Given how punitive the SEC has been towards crypto under this administration, do you envision the XRP ledger being incorporated into the financial institutions in the future?
Well, I certainly cannot speak to any specific crypto, but I do think that the sort of cryptocurrency is an interesting and probably valuable bulwark against a centralized control. This is definitely not an endorsement or lack of endorsement for XRP, but I do think crypto, by its very nature, it helps with individual freedom.
You still working with Ripple at all as a company? I know that there was some extracurricular activity that was working its way through the courts, but and it's since been resolved. But I'm curious if there's ongoing discussions, since one of their primary focus is on the interbank settlement component that you're also touching.
So, frankly, Ripple's probably the only topic I can't talk about. I just don't talk about it. I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it.
Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Wow, from XRP's perspective, Swift's policy lab could bridge the gap between XRP as a bridge asset and Swift link pilots through partners like Thunes, enabling faster settlements without replacing Swift's messaging role. XRP Swift. Our next tweet comes from Zave Crypto. Banks are literally racing each other to launch crypto now. Ripple's Cassie Craddock says MICA lit the fuse in Europe and customer demand is doing the rest. Regulatory clarity equals game changer. Let's watch this video.
The main reason that we're starting to see, or we're seeing this adoption really happening now is regulatory clarity. And it's providing banks and the largest financial institutions in the world, I guess the incentive or the ability to be able to really lean into offering this to their customers. MiCA here in Europe really has kind of kick-started that momentum, and what we've seen is banks almost racing on a regional basis to launch a digital asset offering to their customers, because their customers are demanding it. It's no longer a nice to have, it's a must have to keep competitiveness within their specific region. And I think that that momentum around regulatory clarity is only going to continue. And last year we saw 250% year-on-year growth here in Europe from a custody perspective, and I expect that kind of momentum will kick on into the second half of 2025 and into 2026.
Our next tweet comes from Bank XRP. Justin, Tether invests $20 million in Mercado Bitcoin, a key Ripple partner powering $200 million plus in RWA tokenization on the XRP ledger. Our next tweet comes from Bank XRP. Flare founder Hugo Filion just said it out loud. XRP and Ripple were accused of being the banker coin. Now everyone in the entire industry is desperate to be the banker coin. They mocked the vision, now they're copying it. Let's watch this video.
Why was XRP the focus? I think two reasons. One is I've always been interested in XRP. I think their solution for payments has broadly been in the right direction. I think they got unlucky with the regulations, to be honest with you. I think what's hilarious is that most of, when XRP and Ripple kind of started out, they were accused of being, the banker coin. And yet now everyone in the entire industry desperate to be the banker coin. It's pathetic, really. But so I think they have a good solution. I think they've always been relatively true to that solution, and I think they have a very vocal community. We were always interested in X.
Real quick, if this helped, press the like button. It tells YouTube to show this to people who want the truth, not hype. And press the subscribe button if you're done being sold the moon. I've already got your next one right here. Go.